Hardin County. We are here with you this morning speaking with Bonnie Wheeler. She is running as a write-in candidate for Sheriff, Hardin County Sheriff. So thanks for coming out with us today, Bonnie.
Well, thank you for
coming
having
to meet
me.
us. So this is a big thing for you especially. But you know, the write-in candidates, they are fighting an uphill battle for sure. So tell us first of all who you are, a little bit about your background, and why you are running for sheriff.
Okay, well, my name is Bonnie Wheeler, and I have lived in this community since I was 12. I've worked here and served here 30 plus years volunteering, 20 plus years with the Hardin County Sheriff's Office. I have a passion for serving people and doing for others. And you know, when you're committed to serving others, it comes easy.
Mm-hmm.
It comes easy to want to do what's right and to represent what's right.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Jobs put it best when he said the only way to do great work is to do what you love. Well, I love serving others. And one great way for me to do that is to be committed to the citizens as their sheriff.
Mm-hmm. So as many know, she was running with Willie Oden, who was in the election, the primaries, against John Ward. Tell me why you were running, supporting a new candidate rather than supporting incumbent John Ward.
After meeting Sergeant Major, we worked together through Rotary and through some youth camps and things like that. So I came to trust him and trust his abilities and his knowledge about a lot of different things. He had some insights and some thoughts about things that he would like to see in the community, and felt like it would be a positive thing to build trust between the community and law enforcement, because there's been so much negativity with people not trusting law enforcement, people being afraid. So I supported that, and I felt like there's nothing wrong with a fresh set of eyes, so to speak, in that somebody that is world traveled, serving our country, serving 6 tours in Iraq, Kuwait, Afghanistan, and you know, I've kind of lost track of all the places that he's been, but to want to bring that knowledge and that love and passion for serving to Hardin County. I mean, what better way to give back to your community but to bring all that skill and all that talent that Uncle Sam trained you for into Hardin County? It's a good way to protect us. You know?
Well, speaking of skill and talent, tell us just a little bit about your history, your 20 plus years being on the Sheriff's Department.
Okay. I originally started when Bobby Thomas was sheriff, and I started out working in payroll and accounts receivable and payable, and I was very fortunate in my movement around the sheriff's office to learn many different things. So I did some grant writing, maintained the grant, continued to volunteer in the community all throughout my years of service with the sheriff's office. Moved into the criminal work, learned how to process and serve the warrants, EPOs, mental inquest warrants, juvenile pickup orders. And then when the opponent that was running against Willie Oden, he came to me as in his bid for sheriff, and he asked me if I would consider being the dare officer. And so it was not something I jumped into lightly, because I loved the job that I was doing, working with extraditions, doing some transports, and a number of things that I went home and I prayed about it, talked to my family about it, and decided, okay, I can do this. You know, it's something new. I'm all about learning and doing, and love to serve. Working in my church with kids for many times, I thought, I can do this. So I accepted that and continued with the other duties that I was doing as well. And it was such a blessing to be able to get into the schools and meet with the kids and be able to teach the kids and build those relationships and build those trust with those kids. There's situations that come to mind that I was at one particular school, and it was a bit different for me because the dynamics of each part of the county, whether it's North End, South End, East End, or West End, no matter what school you go into, they're all different. And all these kids are different. So you face different challenges at every school. But one particular school, the kids it was like having a police officer in their school was, really? Why do we have a police officer here? But then they learned that I was there for a good purpose and they weren't in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, learned to trust and developed a relationship with many of those students that even after their graduation, I made it a point to go once a week and have lunch with those students.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. As a camp counselor, 8-9 years running now with Camp Schaefer in Severance Valley, I was able to build relationships with many kids over these 8-9 years that now they're young adults. And I still talk to many of them, some of them daily, you know.
That's
So
nice.
being in the schools, being with kids all the time, it's just, that's one of my passions, is to be able to serve and educate.
Yeah.
You know, so that part of there and just being in the community through law enforcement, that part is something I miss, you know.
Well, I guess we could just, you know, kind of get right into it. You know, as many of you all know, you were suspended shortly thereafter the election.
Yes.
And then later terminated shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us about that.
Well, you know, sometimes when things occur, people's insight and their ability to separate professional, political, whatever, sometimes those things get clouded. And in choosing to support the other candidate, meeting people and having conversations, I was accused of stating comments about a particular incident involving our office. But I want people to understand, when it comes to investigations of the office, one, we're not at liberty to discuss anything that's open and pending. Two, in the position that I hold or held at the time, I wasn't in the position that I would have any knowledge about what was going on with that.
Okay.
Outside agencies typically do your criminal investigation. The leaders above me do the internal. Me personally would have no knowledge of anything involving those cases. So my knowledge of any of that came from social media, from the news, from the radio. It wasn't because I had any knowledge of anything, you know. So in my suspension and termination, I was accused of violating policies. So with that being said, that ultimately led to that termination.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, what else do you want everybody to know about what you would like to see if you were elected?
Okay. Well, I'm going to back up a little bit for you. And some of the questions that I get asked when I'm speaking with people is, what do sheriffs do?
Okay.
You know, what are they? What do they do? Sheriff is the chief law enforcement officer of the county. So they're a powerful person, you know. And with me making that statement of being a powerful person, I'll say this. My commitment to running for this office is not about power, it's not about position, it's not about money. It's about giving a voice to citizens who felt like they had no choice. You know, in the primary, because it is a close partisan race, many people who wanted to vote didn't have that opportunity. So when I was approached after the primary and asked me if I would consider it, again, it was with much prayer. It wasn't something that, well, yeah, let's just do this, you know. It was, let me think about it, you know. But because of my drive and my compassion for people, fairness and equality, okay, let's do this, you know. Can I do it alone? Absolutely not. You know, it's because one person doesn't make the job. It takes everybody.
Sure.
So if you tell me you want change, which is a lot of what I was hearing throughout that campaign and even now, people want change, then make it happen. You know, make it happen. So being that chief the chief law enforcement officer, work with me, help me make the changes that you want, you know. People say, well, what are the duties of the sheriff? You know, you think, they're police officers. Well, sure, they are police officers, but their job is very broad because they don't just have a certain area of the city that they cover. We have
Right.
600 and some odd miles that
Sure.
we have to cover. So when you're looking at manpower and patrolling those areas, you have to be very diligent about what you do and how you do and who you hire for that, right? So just thinking about those duties, serving and protecting, that's our law enforcement aspect. Collection of taxes. Sheriff's offices they're the number one person. They are it when it comes to collecting the property taxes. And then they're dispersed out to all the different areas that they go to, like the schools and things like that. Then there's election duties. The sheriff oversees the county board of elections. Okay? Now, that one's new to me. It's not something I've ever been involved in. So do I have some learning to do? Absolutely. You know, serving the courts, and that in and of itself is something broad and big, because you think about a sheriff's office, you don't think about how many arms and legs there are to it, but you have patrol, you have serving the court, you have admin. Okay, so in serving the court, you're taking all of these summonses, all these subpoenas, all these warrants, anything that is initiated from the court, and we're responsible for serving those. So whether they're coming in, picking them up from the office, or you have deputies out around the clock doing these duties. Then there's the transport. So you have people that get arrested in other counties. They have to be brought here to answer to those charges. Then there's the extraditions. That's a nationwide thing. That's NCIC. That's knowing what to put in, when to put in, and how to get them back. And that was part of my duties, was to oversee the coordination of those transports and extraditions. Okay. Then there is the process of service, which, like I said, that's your EPOs, your civil papers, and so forth. We also take complaints. So if you have something going on in the county, maybe somebody's trying to break into your home, maybe you've had something stolen, you know, we have the ability and all that to go out, take those reports, and investigate those crimes.
I see. Okay.
It's a very broad spectrum of things.
Sounds like it.
We also educate. You know, and that's something that you try to do regularly, is to keep your public informed, educate them to what's going on, and it's a partnership. You know, so bringing in youth programs, kind of that old style of what I'll call community-oriented policing. Get out in the streets, talk with your people. When they trust you, they're going to talk to you, and they're going to tell you, hey, you know, this is going on over here. You might want to check it out. You know, so heed the warnings of the public. Build those relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, why am I running? You know, again, it's all about being a servant leader. You know, I want what I believe in, and I want who I believe in, and I believe in Hardin County and the citizens thereof. Want to give them the voice that they're asking for to make those changes. Can't affect a change unless we do it together.
Right. I agree. So why do you think you're a better candidate?
It's not a matter of thinking, it's a matter of knowing.
Okay.
Now, you take 21 years of service and couple that with community service. I think I bring a lot to the table. I think I'm an approachable person.
I agree.
Thank you. I will sit and I will listen to you. And if it's not something that I personally can do, I'm going to find a way to help you. You know, I can't do it all. You have to ask for help from others. So partnering with other law enforcement agencies, other programs, you know. So if I can't do it, let me rephrase that. It's not that I can't. I will.
You'll find. You'll search. You'll
Absolutely.
go.
Absolutely.
Seek
I
those
will,
information.
you know, I spend, like I said, I touch base and I talk to a lot of the kids that I've dealt with over the years at camp. And I don't care who they are. One thing that I have always told both my DARE students and the kids that I counsel at camp, if you need me, I am 24/7. I don't care where you're at. I don't care what you're doing. If you need an out, you've got something going on and you don't know how to handle it, call me. You know, trust me, lady, I've had several mornings late or several nights, long nights, that I have people sitting with me and we're talking till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You know, God puts people together for a reason, and if I can be that reason to help, if He can use me to do that, I'm all for that.
Okay. Well, what's the process of write-in? I mean, can somebody just simply write your name on the ballot? Is it that simple?
That's all they have to do is remember, write in Bonnie Wheeler. So when they go to the polls, you're not going to see my name on that ballot. You're going to have to go in knowing that this is who I want representing me.
Mm-hmm.
Go in with the intention of taking that pen and physically writing Bonnie Wheeler, write in for sheriff.
Okay. Okay. Well, anything else you want to discuss this morning?
I will have an official kickoff, and it will be July 31st at the Brown Pusey House from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay.
I encourage everyone to come out. If you have questions, feel free to shoot me an email, writeinbonnie@gmail.com. You can call me. That number, because there's been so many phone calls already, that number is 270-505-5489. It is 24/7. Again, it's 270-505-5489. The email is writeinbonnie@gmail.com. There is a Facebook page, and we have under construction a web page.
Okay.
I will have signs available. I will have information available to you, and I'll be available to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Okay.
Again, if I don't have the answer, I'm going to work hard to find it for you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming to our office this morning. If anybody wants to comment on this live stream, Bonnie will follow it and get your questions answered. Otherwise, again, invite everybody out to the kickoff party on July 6th, right?
July 31st.
July 31st. Oh, wait, it was... Why am I thinking 6? July 31st at Brown Pusey House. Okay.
Exactly, 6 to 8 p.m.
All right. Well, have a great afternoon, Hardin County.
Thank you.